Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike at TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Jayco Eagle 355 MBQS fifth wheel. Guys, picked a beautiful unit here. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A few things to take into consideration when parking. Besides your slide on your campsite, you've also got awnings. So leave plenty of room for them to come out. You'll get an eye for about how much room you're going to need after a couple times. On your off campsite, besides your slides, I also want you to think about where our power and water connections are going to be. Your power is going to be just above your tire on your off campsite or driver's side of your tow vehicle. And just ahead of that slide here, in your front compartment here is going to be your docking station. That's where your water will hook up. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. After arriving, first thing we're going to do is unhook our hitch, our auto leveling system. Right inside here, we're going to touch the arrow up and down to turn on. Touch them in at the same time. That will turn that on there for you. Once you got that on, unlatch your hitch, lift your unit up, get your hitch away, put it down to about as close as level as you can, and then you're just going to touch auto level. Auto level is going to run down all your auto leveling systems, the ones here in the front as well as here in the back. They will also adjust your landing legs till your whole unit's level and stable. When it is, that green light up there is going to flash and everything's going to stop moving. Once our unit's level and stable, we can hook up our power and water. As you see, you got this big long 50 amp cord. Plugs in here. Now the way these go on, they are locking. So they'll come in to the left. Once they're in, turn it to the right. Then put on your black washer. That'll lock that on there for you. At the end of that 50 amp service, should you need to plug into a 30 amp at a campsite, there's a 50 to 30 amp reducer. Comes with your convenience pack. And then 30 to 15 in case you need to plug into a 110 somewhere. Got our power hooked up. Let's hook up our water. Alright, at campsites, we're going to hook up the city water connection. Jayco made it really easy here. You got two knobs to move to set for your settings. At campsites, again, city water connection. So blue to the right, green to the left. That part's done. Now we grab our water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in the unit. Always use this when putting water in here because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. Hook that up, hook up your hose, but don't turn our hose on yet. Just to the right here is our hot water heater. Now this door will come all the way off. Now all we're doing at this point is making sure our drain plug's back in there. Throw some plumber's tape around that. Tape, not putty. Putty will gum up on you. Plumber's tape around that. That is an 1/8" socket. Get that in there nice and snug. Then you can turn that hose on. Now after that hose has been on for a little while, I need you to go inside and open up your slides. Because what I need you to do is get inside and open up all of your water taps. Get a nice steady flow of water going through all of them. All the air out of the lines. Then you know your hot water heater is full. You can shut off all those taps, and then you can turn on your hot water heater from indoors. There is an on-off. There is also a Reset buttons, if your hot water heater doesn't seem to be working, come out here to look to see if they are bubbled up. If they are, simply press them back in and they will reset it. Then your pressure release valve we'll discuss when leaving the campsite. All right, so we got our water hooked up for a campsite. What if we're gonna go boondocking, dry camping? In that case, we'll have a two-step process. We're gonna start by filling the tank and then we'll switch to dry camp. So filling the tank, green to the right, blue to the bottom. Fill up over here at the city water connection. Treat your hot water heater the same way, make sure it's plugged. Now you're gonna go inside and you're gonna watch the panel where you can watch for your freshwater tank to be filled. Keep an eye on that because you don't want to overfill this. Once that's full, remove that hose. Then we're gonna switch from tank fill to dry camp. Now our green goes down, our blue goes to the right. Now, when we want to utilize that water, we will turn on our water pump. You can turn it on out here, you can turn it on indoors, just wherever you turn it on at, shut it off in the same spot. Then the other two settings are your winterize and your sanitize. Sanitize, you're actually sucking soap up into the system. You'll bypass your hot water heater like you do winterizing. And that'll wash that out. And winterizing, you set this way and suck antifreeze in, both at the same spot using your water pump. All right, we're all set up with power and water. Let me go ahead and walk you around the rest of the outside of the unit. Starting here in the docking station, got a light here. You're prepped for solar. You can plug in a solar panel here and that will trickle charge your batteries. This blue spray port will turn on to this hot and cold shower. There's your hot water bypass. That's a light showing your water pump on. Tank flush, we'll talk about that when dumping our black and gray tanks. Cable to satellite connections. Again, all those connections. This side winterized and sanitized. This side city water and freshwater fill. Down here is where we dump our black and gray tanks, and then a convenient area to run your water hose down through. Your big pass-through storage up here next to your auto leveling system is your battery disconnect. That will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come in important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide propane detector. Up here is your inverter. Your propane on the front here is on a regulator. Simply lefty-loosey to open, point it toward the tank you wish to be using. Continuing back down your off-camp side. Up above our hot water heater is a flue for your furnace. Two things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. And two, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of that. It does get hot. Your auto leveling legs. Your power. Access to the back of your fridge here. I got that locked, but that's just access to the back of your fridge. The vent for your microwave up there. Your low point drain will be easier to access when your slide's closed when leaving the campsite. This one as well. Got a ladder, utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year, check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. You're also prepped for a Furrion backup camera. Device that attaches to a piece that attaches onto here, and then you have another device that sits on the dash of your tow vehicle. Give you a backup camera for it. There's your towing hitch and ratings on the sticker. Come around this side, there's a spare tire manual crank right there, and there's your spare tire. On your awning, both of them have a pitch adjust. If it's raining, picnic table's down there. You want to run the rainwater this way, just go ahead and pull down on that pitch adjust and that'll run your rainwater away. Straighten it back out. The other awning does as well. Your LED lighting up there. You also have a light for your steps, so you see them when you're coming in at night. A couple of outdoor speakers there and down there. Spray port, that's where you can bring that blue hose over to this side to wash things down. Outdoor fridge, storage, USB 110 with GFCI reset, some lighting. Below that, your J port will slide in here into that receiver right there, and that is your J port right there Just slide the big metal end in with this up top. That'll give you a spot to set this grill, and use your quick connect LP for that. Also on this side is another low point drain that you can get to right here. And quick connect LP. No mark for that, but that's where your J port will hook up at. Again, you can set these lightings to motion or just on. 110 and cable out here if you want to hook up a TV. Access to some water lines. Water hose for putting your antifreeze in the winter. And a spare tire manual crank. Your other propane. Another 110 out here. Coming up front, check your battery post down then. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose over time. That about covers everything on the outside. Let's go take a look on the inside. Coming up beside the unit, first thing I always like to point out is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of an emergency. Straight away is our mid bunk. Over to our left is going to be our control panel. So we can just touch this here. That's going to bring up several things on our home. Our climate, our lighting, our motors, our tanks, and our energy. We can go through them here, but we can also go through them individually over here to our left, which is what we'll do. We'll start with our tanks. Here's where you can turn on to watch to see when your freshwater tank fills. Here's where you can turn on your water pump once it is full. Here's where you turn on your water heater if hooked to electric, your water heater if hooked to gas. It does make a difference, and all you do is touch them to turn them on. And down here is where you can keep an eye on your black and gray tanks. Next one down is your motors. You can run your auto leveling system from here. Close this door, get rid of some of that reflection. There we go. So you can run your auto leveling system from here. You can also scroll up and control your slides and your awnings from here. I'll show you something on your awnings. I've got them ran just about all the way out. Awning number 1 is going to be your front one. Now I'm going to hit extend. You're only going to want to run these out until that white flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see that brown bar. These will continue to run themselves out past that point and start to run themselves up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you're running it out. Make sure you don't run it out farther than you need to. I'm going to continue to bring this one in from this part of the control panel. And I'll show you another part of the control panel where we can bring the other awning in. Again, both awnings, just run them out until that flap falls down and stop. Keep an eye on them when you run them out. So again, your slides, we utilize the slides when we close the unit back up. Next is temperature. I'm going to go down here real quick to finish your awning so I can close this door and get rid of this reflection. So down here in the bottom where these arrows are, I'm going to go all the way back to off. From off, we go to the right to pair. Pair to the BM Pro app on your phone. Great app. You can control your slides, your awnings, your lights, everything from your phone. Next, after pair is awning number 1, which we just brought in. Awning number 2, we're going to go over here and hit retract. So there's another spot that you can bring your awning in. If you have your arm set to pitch control, straighten it out as close as you can. It will actually straighten itself out to where it needs to be. And as I run that in, let that in, we can close our exterior door and have a little better lighting for our panel here. I call it slam locks because they work best when lightly slammed. So also your controls, slide 1, 2, 3, and 4, back to off, extend and retract. You can do all that from here. Back up top, we're going to go ahead and turn on your AC. The heat turn on at the same time because I switched it from heat. Now you notice when I shut the heat off, let me shut the fan off. AC shuts off rather quickly, whereas the heat, you'll still hear it running because it takes the fan a few minutes to cycle through before it shuts off. So you turn it on here, come over here, pick what you want, heat, cool, fan. Down here is your fan speed, off or on. Shut that off. Next, lighting. Scroll through, you can shut off all of this lighting from here or crank it all back on. And the best part, if you see your living room lighting, it's also dimmable. All of the lighting in here is dimmable. Just by sliding these. Lastly, our tire pressure, and just showing what kind of power we're using. Down here, number 1, interior lighting, except for accent lights. Number 2, exterior. Number 3 will do both. Another spot you can turn on your water pump. This down here is for your fan down there, overhead fan. You see a few of these through the unit. They are a temperature reader. They allow the thermostat to work better. Coming around the corner down at the bottom of your pantry, to the left is going to be your breaker box enthusiast. Ton of 15s in there, a couple 25s, a couple 30s. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. To the right of that is your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mention that's 12 volt, it's always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping or boondocking somewhere, nothing plugged in charging your battery, if you're going to be gone for the whole day, use that battery disconnect up front to keep this from running your battery down. As you hear, the furnace just shut off. Let's take a few minutes for that to cycle through like that. To my left, on our island, is a freshwater drinking station pump. Underneath your island here is a spot for a big water jug. Hook that up, you'll always have fresh water by turning on this drinking station button and drinking water from here. You always have that fresh water no matter what the campsite has. Also in your island, pop up USB and 110. They call them a power port. Big Whirlpool fridge. Controls here. Turn it on and off and what parts you want cold. Also, there's a separate complete manual for this Whirlpool fridge. Self-explanatory microwave. Does have a fan, high and low, and a light. On our cooktop here, this glass top makes an excellent backsplash. Turn on your panel light. Turn this from off to light, turns red, hit your spark, there's your flame. Should have that on all 3 of these here. Now shut them all back off. Same thing on your oven. Turn this to light, spark it here, and then turn it to the desired temperature. No pilot light anymore. You can light it off from here. You rock this panel light down, it becomes an oven light. Top down for travel. You can control a bunch of lighting from here, your ceiling pendant, all exterior lights, and your dinette. Get your area here. Got our TV, sound system, and fireplace. Let's start by cranking up your TV. Now you'll want to run a digital channel scan wherever you go. Sorry, that was the sound system. Turn on your TV. Now you're going to want to run a digital channel scan wherever you're at. You can unhook these and this whole thing will swivel out. You got the Fire TV. Down below that is your sound system, which I had turned down with the remote. I'll do it by hand now. Turn this on here. Turn the music up. 3 zones here, indoors. just back here, or outdoors, or all three. FM, USB, 2 auxiliaries, optical, and an HDMI. Are Bluetooth compatible as well. Back to FM. Down here, your fireplace. Not just for looks anymore. I can go through and show you all the pretty colors, but the biggest thing, folks, turn on that heat up to high. If it's chilly in here in the morning or evening, instead of using up your gas, if you're plugged into a campsite, turn on this heat. I'm already feeling the heat kicking out. It'll get it toasty in here in no time. It'll save you some gas. Left over here, you got 110 and USBs on each side of your sofa. Your sofa, I'm going to go ahead and turn into a bed real quick for you. Key here is to be in the middle, so you've got leverage. Got a couple of Velcroed back cushions to take off. Lift up in the middle. Fold these legs out. Pull the whole thing toward you. Hold the back down, and just that quickly, you've got another sleeping quarters. Now just remember, the biggest thing is when putting this back away, lift your back up first. If you start to lift this front up, you can really damage it. Just reverse the process. Again, standing in the middle gives you good leverage. To jackknife this back down. You turn your cushions. You just that quickly. And we're back to a sofa. Our chairs have parachute pull recliners. Come back down with your feet. Remotes will all be in here for now. Your table. You got these chairs and a bench. There's also 2 folding chairs that match these chairs. You also have the storage underneath. These are some pieces that you can put on the back of these for travel. You can also strap them down. Hydraulic storage under here with an extension. Bunch of paperwork for you. USBs and more places to turn off your lighting. Coming up the hallway to our mid bunk. Come in here. Turn our lights on over here by the bed. That's our overhead. These are individual one touch. You can fold this down to be another bunk. This will open up just like your sofa in the living room. I find it best to travel with these down. There's less pressure on these when you do bring these up. Snap that in like so. But again, for traveling purposes, to travel with it down. Some heat exhaust in here, prep for a TV. You put a TV here, there's a backer, cable and 110 here. Coming up our hallway, we do have a ladder that will step out so that you can climb up into this bunk. Lighting here. A couple 110 plugs up there. In our bathroom, a couple things to mention in here, besides all of our pretty lighting. In our shower, we want to make sure that this shower door is snapped open for travel. And keep that from bouncing around on you. You got some plumbing in here to maintain. You know, it's mostly PEX. Just like a house at home, you will keep an eye on that. You are bouncing the house down the road here, and things tend to wiggle loose over time. And you also have a hand crank open vent here. Come back into your bedroom. There's, you can turn your inverter on. There's a couple of USBs. Prep for a TV back here too. There's a backer. all your cable and 110 and 12 volts you would need. In the bedroom, another area to control our lighting. We can also control just this bedroom slide from here. Another temperature reader. Under your bed, the folding chairs I mentioned. Make sure your closet doors are snapped into the closed position for travel. That is set to the motion sensor light. You are also prepped for a washer and dryer in here, should you decide to put that in the future. Emergency exit window here, pops out here. Let's see, it's getting dark in here. Alright, that about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. Let me shut the ceiling light off back here. Come into my bathroom. One more door I need you to have snapped into the open position is your bathroom door. We've secured that door. Now I'm going to come to my control panel. I'm going to touch number 1, and that's going to shut off all my interior lights except for accent lights. At this point, walk through, shut off all of your accent lighting. Now, just by touching number 1, I know I can shut off all my lights. At this point, I would say doors and drawers. Go through your whole unit, shut off all doors and drawers. Make sure nothing's going to impede your slides from coming in, especially these doors here. If these are caught out just a little bit, not snapped back, then it can catch this slide, and we don't want that to happen. Same thing in here, close everything up. We'll close everything up from down here. We're going to go to slide number 1. Retract. It's going to be my bedroom up here. I'm going to come in a little bit with that because I also want to stop and come back here and show you how you can bring this slide in from back here as well. Retract. So we want all those drawers closed. These utilize about every inch they can when closing up. Now I got that slide closed. I'll close this door. Lying down again, looking into my bunk room, making sure everything's secured, nothing's in the way of my slide. We will go to slide number 2, hit retract. That's going to bring that bunk room in. I'll hold that down. I'm going to tap up here. I'm going to finish this up, and we're going to bring the other 2 slides in from our area up here. You'll be able to hear when this one's in. I wanted you to hear that noise. That noise is telling you if the slide's in as far as it needs to go. You don't need to bring it in any further. It is nothing grinding on your slide, slide mechanism, and nothing hurting it. So again, go to our motors over here. We've done slides 1 and 2. Let's go to slide 3 and bring that in. Slide 4. All in, touch number 1. Make sure all of our lights are off. Take a glance outside. Our awning lights are still on, so all we do is touch number 2, and all of them will be off. Exit our unit. Now Now the biggest thing on these steps, folks, is you want to make sure this exterior door is all the way open. Otherwise, this could catch on it when coming up or down. You also have adjustable feet. All you have to do simply is press in on that and pull on this. That'll move your legs. It sets up in here real easy. So I lifted it with one hand. Now before you leave your dump station, and I say that in case you want to watch your dumps on your control panel while you're dumping, make sure that you lock and deadbolt your exterior door. Lift and turn this handle. Alright, at this point, if we are out boondocking, we're going to go over and dump our freshwater tank. All the way to the back here, behind your tires where it says low point drain. Get up underneath there, pull that white handle right there. That is going to dump your freshwater tank. When that's done, you can hit the road. If you're at a dump station, or if you're at a campsite, we're going to unhook our power, our water, our cable, and we're going to come back up in here and turn back on our auto leveling system. And this time we'll just touch retract all. Retract all is going to bring up our auto leveling system, and it's going to set your front landing legs back to where they were before we hit auto level. When that's done, again, your light's going to flash. Then we're all the way up. Again, bring the front up to get your hitch on. Get your hitch on, bring up your landing legs, and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is just ahead of your tires on your off camp side. Get there, arrive, hook up your hose. Come on up here and pull our black handle. Now if it sounds like that black tank is no longer draining, go inside, check the levels of your black tank, make sure it's empty. If it is empty, come back out here, and with this handle open, come up here to your black tank flush. Hook your hose up there and let that run for a good 5 minutes. That's going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. Again, emphasizing with your handle open. Get all that sprayed out of there. When that's done, close this tank flush. Make sure all the washout that you put in here has drained. Then close your black handle. Pull your first gray. These are clean waters, just sinks in your showers. Pull your second gray. When them are done, take your sewage hose, unhook it, store it in a nice convenient sanitary place. When you have stored away that sewage hose, we're going to come around, get up underneath here, and dump some low point drains. After them are done dumping, we're going to come back around to our hot water heater. Now you're going to lift up on this pressure release valve. Be careful, there's going to be hot water coming out of there. When that's done, push that handle back down, otherwise your door won't come back on. Then you can pull your drain plug. Put your door back on. Clips down there. And head on home. Again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Eagle for many years to come. Happy camping.